It's Reality Check with Craig Price.
I'm an idiot.
4 minutes in and I'm already wrong.
I'm like a monkey. Hello, look at me.
You're like a beautiful mind. I'm more like Forrest Gump. So it's,
Craig Price is the man.
I knew it. Craig, shut up. It's Reality Check with Craig Price. This week, the entire panel I did on New Year's Eve with Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Disney Princess Ming-Na Wen. Welcome to the show. I have a spectacular guest for you this week, but before I get to her, just a simple, unadulterated plea for reviews. If you could go to iTunes and either click 5 stars or write a review for the podcast, it would really help. The more reviews, the more people see the podcast. The more people who see the podcast, the more people who decide to listen. The more people who decide to listen, the more reviews. It's the circle of podcasting life. So on to today's guest. As you know, I was very fortunate enough to be the lead moderator at an event this New Year's, and one of the highlights of that event was sitting down with the talented and lovely Ming-Na Wen. For those unfamiliar with the name, you will be familiar with her work. Here is just a quick list of some of what she's been on. The Joy Luck Club, Street Fighter, ER, Mulan, and currently she is Agent Melinda May on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, many folks ask why I like working these Comic-Con and pop culture events. It's because I get to meet and talk to people like Ming-Na. As you'll hear, she's very personable, she's funny, it's just a treat to be with. The highlight for me for this entire event was later that night at the New Year's Eve VIP party, she came up to my wife and told her how pretty she looked. And this freaked my wife out, not because she was talking to Ming-Na Wen, it's because it wasn't like we were introducing ourselves and I was going, oh, this is my wife, Heather, and then she said a compliment. She went out of her way to initiate conversation with my wife, and she was very gracious, and she was just a wonderful person. She was hilarious the night before at the roast of Stan Lee. We've never had a Disney princess on the show before. This is our second S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but make no mistake, there is only one Ming-Na Wen.
Was I in this Dallas? No, it was a different Dallas, right?
There's a different Dallas?
Was there?
Were you
no?
at a fan expo?
I don't know. Yeah.
At a big convention center?
Yeah. Right.
Yes, they would know.
2 or 3 years ago, I think.
It was
It's just last year? Okay, thank you.
All right.
It's been a really long year.
It's been kind of a busy year for you, especially with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This year, they didn't really incorporate the movies as much in the past. What did you think about that? Did you guys push the writers to say, hey...
It's interesting because we try to just do it a little bit, but because we want to maintain our storylines and our flow, that sometimes, which was what we found out in season 1, was that it was really difficult to time out when they air, when they premiere and when we air. So it just became too problematic.
And they're also on a different shooting schedule. They're 3 years in pre-production and 1 year shooting, and you guys are, how long does it take to do one episode?
We take 8 days, so we basically shoot a movie every week and a half.
Oh, that's no big deal.
No, it's no big deal.
So,
yeah.
And especially when you all have that light exercise in the middle of it.
That's right, yeah. And, I think shooting a series is fantastic because you get to create so many different storylines and be able to delve more into the characters. But it's exhausting.
Well,
it's tiring.
One of the exciting things I just heard about, we talked about it very briefly before we came out, I found out that one of your first credits was with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Do any of you even know who Mr. Rogers'
We all
Neighborhood
know.
is? Everybody knows, right? Yeah.
They show his reruns on Netflix and still on PBS.
Really?
Yeah,
He's an icon.
Fantastic. So how did you get involved with that?
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I was going to Carnegie Mellon University studying drama. Yes, there is a drama degree that you can get from colleges. My mom is always so surprised about that. She's always like, American school's so easy.
What does she want you to be? What does she want you to be?
The usual doctor, lawyer, So I've played all that. Yeah. I've been a doctor. I've been a senator. So we were in college, and we heard that Mr. Rogers needed some trumpeteers. So me and my 2 girlfriends said, "Let's go do it. Let's go volunteer," and that's how we ended up on the set. And we found out Mr. Rogers liked to talk to his puppets by himself, backstage.
And that was not rehearsal?
No, we don't know yet. To this day, we're just, it was fascinating.
Did you get to any interaction with him at all?
Oh, yeah,
besides that?
yeah.
So,
He's lovely.
I was going to say, is he as sweet as he seems to be?
He really is. That's the person you get. You know, it's like Stan. Like, that's who you get. Yeah.
Because it's always kind of a hit or miss when you meet your heroes.
Right.
You know, sometimes you think the world of them, and then
Yeah.
and then sometimes you're like, oh, this is great, and they exceed your expectations.
Like me.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
Craig?
Absolutely.
No, everybody is always so surprised to, find out that I'm completely the antithesis of Agent May.
My wife said the exact thing last night.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm so happy that she's funny and sweet and sarcastic and a little dirty.
Very dirty, actually. Very dirty. Very
So
proud.
we'll find out. We're going to push the envelope today.
Really?
No. No, I like you way too much to soil you in that way. I think you're a wonderful, sweet lady, and I would hate to ruin that in the image.
I don't think you can soil me.
So as we start, I want to make sure that all the fight scenes that you do, how much prep, because you only have 8 days,
Yeah.
so how much prep do you have in those 8 days to do the action sequences?
The first year and the second year, we spent a little bit more time doing it, and then like maybe at least a whole day of working it out, so 3 hours sometimes just working things out, stretching and all that. And now they basically show me a video and say, okay, see you tomorrow. Because they have, which is nice. The stunt coordinators and the stunt people, they have really great confidence in what I've learned in the last 3.5, 4 years now. And I feel, I'm an honorary stunt person, and it's really great. It's a wonderful art form, and I'm proud that I could do it.
Have you gotten hurt doing it?
Oh yeah.
And how do they work around that? Because sometimes, if you get hurt, you got a couple hours off, maybe just to attend to you.
Right.
How do you work around that?
I think the only time that, besides the massive bruises that we would sometimes get, depending on if we miss or not during these fight scenes, is chipping a couple of teeth in my front teeth when I was doing the May versus May fight. So
you chipped your own teeth?
I didn't chip it myself. Well, in a way I did, because I kind of knocked my jaws together, but I had to get hit really hard in the head by the stunt woman. It was an accident, of course, because we'd been working 17 hours. We were all really tired, and I just didn't duck in time. And she didn't stop. So yeah, I rattled my teeth together and started.
Yeah, well, because you just can't help not touch it because it's like that rough.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's not supposed to be there.
No. So it was pretty cool though. I felt badass.
Well, you had to do double badass in that scenario because you're fighting one scene and then they just I'm sure they shot your one whole scene as one May, and then they put the makeup on because you had the mask.
No. She still had her nano, so it was just me versus me.
I thought at halfway through, her nano.
I just had to change hair and wardrobe, so I was either fighting in lingerie or fighting.
I had to say that was a tough to watch.
In a silver dress, and heel.
That particular one was tough. When you read that, did you go and slap some of the writers?
Yeah. I was like, what kind of lingerie?
Did you have any say in the lingerie?
No, me and Ann Foley. I don't know if you follow her Instagram or anything. She's an amazing costume designer, and she made sure that it was a lingerie piece that looked sexy, but I could also fight in.
I don't think movement is an issue, I guess, with lingerie. I would imagine that would be more with the leather jackets that you have to wear all the time. Not that I know. I'm not. Yeah. I don't get to wear lingerie very often.
Sure you do.
In my physique, it's mostly long
Craig.
robes.
He doesn't wear lingerie.
It's commando or nothing. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah, keep that. This is right after lunch. Keep that image in your eyes this afternoon. So, but do you have any say in some of the things you do? At some point, do you go, wait a second, I don't need to be fighting in lingerie and a dress. That's not really a...
No, I mean, I love any challenges that, they throw my way. I don't know if you've watched season 4 right now, but they're kind of bringing the whole May versus May back again because I'm playing 2 characters again. So I'm going to be an LMD, which is a life model decoy, May. And if that's a spoiler, sorry. It's aired, so catch up.
And they have the web series that they had going in between the seasons.
Right. Slingshot.
Yeah, and then there was another one with the lady android.
Right.
That's called Life Model Deco, LMD, I think.
Yes,
is the name of it.
LMD.
So it's not
not
really
a big, but it's it's kind of fun to play two roles again. A little confusing.
I was gonna say, how do you keep track? I mean, I know like there's a continuity person, but
No, I break down my script like a good little girl and make sure that everybody stays on top of what scene's being shot that day, because we don't shoot in order. It depends on location. It depends on where we are in the script, what day, what sets. And so a lot of times, if it's daylight or a night shoot, so everything is always out of order and nothing is shot consecutively. So we always have to make sure that we know where we're at. But for May, a lot of times it's just this. So it's pretty easy. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
Thank you.
She's good.
I have to convey a lot of emotions through that look. It's crazy.
But do you take that the fact that you're, as far as emotional range, you're an actress, you can do a lot.
Yeah.
And we've seen you do a lot. But with May, it's either she's mad or she's indifferent.
Or she's, yeah.
Yeah, there's mad or indifferent. I don't really see her
yeah.
happy. There was we saw a glimpse of happiness with Blair Underwood.
Yes.
But it was even then, didn't seem like, these are arousing and romantic people. You were very low key. How do you do that and still maintain humanity? Because you do a great job of it. That's why.
Well, thank you. It's hard, because I've never played a character where she shows so little emotion, but she feels everything. And I'm always trying because as an actor, you want to ham it up a little bit, and you're seeing like Elizabeth Hendricks or Fitz, Ian, just like crying in every scene, and you're like, I want to be able to do that. So every so often, I try to slip in more of Ming, and my directors and producers always the note I get is, okay, that was really good, that was a great take, but now just less Ming, more May. Okay. Because I know 9 times out of 10, that's the one that they're going to edit into the final thing. So they let me play, at least.
Well, I know we have a gentleman. The lights are bothering me, so if it's not...
I know, I can't see. I see like the first row of people.
That's why I'm doing this. I see my volunteer. So state your name and ask the question.
You hear me? Oh, okay, cool. Hey, I'm Dorian from Geeks of Color, and hi, Agent May. I just wanted to say, when are they going to ever let Agent May be happy? I mean, season 3, first she finds out her husband's an Inhuman, and then he gets killed, and then she dies in season 4 for a little bit, and now we find out she's been captured, and now she's a life model decoy. When are they going to give you a break?
When are they going to make you smile and be happy all the time as Agent May?
Probably never. I mean, it's it's Marvel, and it's these characters are very, very how should I say, injured, wounded characters. But I think it really plays well into the whole humanity of them trying to find family, a family structure, and a sense of home within their occupation. So it's relatable, though, don't you think? Because it is about being loyal or finding the truth or being passionate about what you do and believing in what you do. I hope they find moments of happiness. I think they do. Especially this year, they're really playing on the whole Philinda thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what that is. The
Shipping.
The shipping between Phil Coulson and Melinda May. They call it Philinda. So there's a lot of sexual tension between them this season. So we'll see.
Thank you.
Philinda, because you call them hey, that wouldn't sound like that. You got to have something sexy. Philinda sounds fantastic.
I guess so.
So what is your opinion on that?
Fans made it up.
It seems like there's something in your background between the two of you, between Coulson and May.
Oh, not between Clark and Ming yet.
No. Clark's got Jennifer Grey. He knows it's all that dirty
That's
dancing
right.
stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he
you
can
would be a
twerk.
fine catch, but I think
He
he already
can
won the
twerk.
lottery too. So
Yeah, I mean, I have a husband of 22 years too, so I think. Sorry.
my wife's kind of disappointed. She's like, "Oh, I was hoping she was single." So, it's true. We both just love you to death. We think you're fantastic.
Is that a Dallas thing? What
No,
up?
just relax. That's not what I meant. See, she's dirty. She's a dirty person. So how can you be a Disney princess with that dirty, dirty mind?
Oh, you should ask them during our sessions when I was doing Mulan.
So there's like a whole movie that you could easily dub out. It would be all
It would be a whole other Disney.
Richard Pryor presents.
Yeah, it would
Mulan.
be. It would definitely be dirty Disney. Yeah, for sure.
I thought I saw a little guy over there, or a little lady. He's about Mike high. I can't see gender from this distance.
No,
so I just
seriously,
say
we are
both.
so blinded.
So please don't be offended. Go ahead with your question. Say your name.
Where
and your
is
question.
everybody? No. Okay, all right.
And if you have a question, quietly find your way back to one of the microphones, and I will eventually find you.
Hi, Ming. Welcome back to Dallas.
Hi.
This is a difficult question for you. Do you think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will have will make it to season 7 or season 10?
Oh my goodness. That's up to ABC. I'm just hoping we get season 5. Every year it's always a crapshoot and, the wait and see game. But gosh, if it goes to season 10, woo, I better stay in shape, man. Otherwise it's going to be Melinda May in a wheelchair. Yeah.
At some point, I'm hoping they shift it to Netflix, and so you guys can be a little bit more gritty. Have you thought about that?
That would be amazing, I think, because, they keep pushing our time slot. We started off at 8 o'clock, and then we moved to 9, and we moved to 10, but we still have the restriction of network, and it makes it hard because, we keep pushing the envelope. I mean, I remember in season 2, I was doing the scene where I'm in a hotel room with Brett's character, Ward, and we had just had a little
Violent session?
A violent session, as Stan Lee calls it. So awesome. I was putting on my shirt, so you just see my back, but apparently there was a little side boob that showed, and they had to frickin' CGI that out because it was network. So I looked like a boy. I had no boob whatsoever.
So now you can say your side boob is worth $100,000 because they probably they had to spend the budget on boobs.
Yeah, so stuff like that. We do have some restrictions. Netflix would be amazing, yeah.
I had no idea that Marvel had a boob budget.
They do, yeah.
I did see one behind theirs. Did you have a follow-up, or is there another person? Looks like I see Falcon behind you.
I just want to say thank you for the answer, though, and I have a message for you, Ming. It's from Yifei Wen from China. She says, I love her and I miss her.
Aw, thank you. 谢谢.
Thank you. Falcon. Or is this War Machine? What do I got here?
Falcon.
Falcon, I thought so, but again, I can only see, I'm using my white privilege, I can
War
only see a
Machine
black
wears
guy
a
with a bald
helmet.
head.
I know, I
So-
feel like we're being, we're in surveillance or we're being...
This is an interrogation.
Yeah, it really is.
That's why they brought me. To really put the
State
screws
your
to you.
real name.
Hi.
Hi, Ming. My name is Tim, a.k.a. Falcon, and I wanted to ask you a question about one of my favorite movies of all time, the movie that introduced me to you, and the movie that made me fall in love with you, Street Fighter. And what was it like to work in that movie and work with another one of my favorite action stars of all time, Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Oh, boy, do I have stories about Jean-Claude.
Oh, good. I will just sit back. I can't wait. Go ahead.
No. It was my first, right out of the gate in college, doing a big budget action movie, and I mean, I didn't know what the video game was until I got the job, and it was amazing. You know, we got to travel to Thailand, and Jean-Claude was hilarious. I mean, I'll never forget, every time we would do a scene, he would just be like, oh, we fix it in ADR. We fix it in ADR. Which means that, because his accent was still so heavy, that he knew that all his scenes he was going to redub and try to speak more clearly, you know, in the post-production process. And I was like, what the fuck? Just learn better English, dude. I went to school for it. But no, it was a lot of fun. And Raul Julia, bless him, you know, he was sick at that time, and he did that film really for his kids, because his kids were such Street Fighter fans. So it was fun. A lot of work, but we had a great time.
And it was fun playing the role of Chun-Li, the original Chun-Li.
Thank you. It was amazing. I mean, we trained like 3 times a day with Benny the Jet, who is this amazing martial artist, stuntman guy. And he put us through the ropes, man. We would wake up in the morning and go jogging, you know, and then we'd have a huge breakfast, and then we'd do weights and fight training in the afternoon, and then at night we would do like all this crazy stretching and you know, other types of martial arts stuff. So we did that for like 2-3 weeks. I got really fit. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ming.
You're welcome.
Now, do you enjoy the fighting part? Or is it,
I do.
Or after a while, does it become like exercise? It's like, I just, well, I've got to do a fight scene now.
Well, it is exercise.
Well, it is, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so out of shape. When I think of exercise, I think of a chore. I think of misery. I think of this is something, an obligation that I've signed on to do.
Right.
Where you are in shape, you find it fun. But I would imagine after a while, maybe it's like going through the motions.
No,
Good.
never. No, you can't. You know, you just can't. So what are you? You're War Machine?
No, he's Falcon.
Oh, you're Falcon. Oh, that's so cool,
Yeah.
bitchin'.
His head was covering the other one, so I only saw the one.
Right,
It
right.
looked like he was going to shoot that thing at us.
No, you know, it's a great excuse not to have to exercise, because I know I'll be working out for like 15 hours on set. So I love it. You know, it's like a dance, and it's always exciting. And I actually prefer those days sometimes to the days where we're like in a conference room and we're standing and just staring at a blank screen.
And then doing this.
Evaluating like what our next mission or game plan is. I mean, those drive me crazy.
I want to get back to Jean-Claude real quick. Do you have an impression that you can do? Can you do his impression?
I wish I could do a split. That's the one thing I can't do. No, just why?
Because I heard that you learned it. You said I learned it to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
How
I don't
was
know
that
any.
process?
I don't know any of his.
No, you don't have to do the thing. But you learned it. So when you started off as your native language, how difficult was it? Because you have a perfect accent. You sound like you were raised here, from
Perfect
a
English
second
accent.
generation, third generation.
Yeah.
How did you get?
I mean, I came here when I was really young. I was only like 6 or 7 when I came into. But what's really funny is that I actually learned English in New York. So I started off with a really heavy New York accent. And then we went to Pittsburgh, so I mingled the New York accent with Pittsburghese, which is very nasally, you know, Yin's gone downtown. And so it was when I went to school for drama at Carnegie Mellon that we learned the Eastern Standard dialect, which is the more, you know, flat, normal American speech.
I'd like to see. Hey, I'm Agent May for the Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
The cavalry's here. You know.
You
what
know,
I'm saying?
if I'm really, really drunk, or when I'm really, really pissed off. Those are the 2 times when you hear my New York accent come out. Yeah, so it's good.
We got another question.
Thank you so much for being here. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
My question is, with your experience in movies and TV, with so much fighting, do you do a lot of your own choreography with the fight scenes, or do you have input? Do they allow you to have input?
Oh, yeah. You know, I always work with our stunt choreographer and coordinator to figure out what I think I'm capable of doing or what I think would be a cooler move. And I'm always trying so hard to put little Easter eggs, like famous moves from other martial arts film or moments and incorporate it into a fight scene if we can, if we can do it. But
That's cool to know. I'm going to have to go back and watch all your movies again just to watch for them.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, uh-huh.
It looks like there's a follow-up right after her.
Hello.
Hi.
So, I was really little when Mulan came out, and she is my favorite princess.
Thank you.
And I was just wondering, I know she's really tough, and it sounds like you do a lot of your own fighting. And how do you feel about Disney putting most of the marketing out of Mulan in her more traditional robes versus her battle gear?
Well, I think because, the market is for, she's like an honorary princess because I don't think she's really a princess. So in a way, it's kind of wonderful that she was popular enough that they want to incorporate and put her in that category. But yeah, it would be great if they were able to do both more. But I think, that's the whole marketing thing, like what sells and what they're gearing towards. So I guess little girls still like them in dresses. But she kicked ass in the last scene in a dress. So I think that's one of her attributes compared to the other princesses. She can do it in both.
Thank you.
Like Agent May. Silver glittery dress, lingerie, no problem.
I see a repeat, but do we have any other who has a question before I get to Sam? Are you going to, is that you heading to the thing? I'll let you cut him, because he's had his shot.
Aw.
He did a good job, but we want to give the first ones.
First off, you have been nothing but kind and generous to us, even when you were jet-lagged and everything yesterday trying to get in for photo shoots. I really appreciate how sweet you are.
Oh, well, thank you. I just, I love meeting the fans, and I love being at these cons. Because you guys are like my people. I'm a total geek, I'm a total nerd, and so it feels like home.
I just wanted to let you know I really appreciated how kind you are. I'm Christelle Hines. My question actually is, in your movies, you have done a couple of movies like Joy Luck Club and Mulan, which are actually based in literature. And I was wondering how you feel that gives more depth to a character, or if that's just another part.
Some more.
When you like the Joy Luck Club, there was a huge book that you had to do research with.
Right.
So do you find when you do characters based on literature, you have more depth to work with? Or do you like the fact that you don't need depth because you can create that depth yourself? Is that close?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm good at what I do.
Thank you. I feel like Stan Lee now, like needing someone.
Can we get that speaker machine? No. It's very difficult to hear because we don't have a monitor, just like last night. So.
Yeah.
So do you like to create from scratch, or do you prefer to have a volume of research?
It doesn't really, I came from training in theater, so we always had the written words and the language. But the great thing about having a book is if you have the actual writer there too. Like Amy Tan was with us every step of the way in Joy Luck Club. And, that in itself was extremely helpful because Joy Luck Club was sort of, biographical about her mom and her friends and this mahjong group, as well as, herself and her girlfriends. So, when you're doing, like, let's say Shakespeare, there's no way you can talk to Shakespeare or anything. So it doesn't matter as long as you understand the material and you can relate to it and you know what the story is that you're trying to convey. Then it doesn't matter how you work it. So it's fun either way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we will let Sam go ahead now. Come on up.
Come on, you're the brave one.
Thank you.
And of course, if you have a question, line up behind Sam right now. That'd be good.
My real name is Tim, by the way, as in Timothy.
Tim.
Yeah.
Well, we want to call you Sam.
Oh.
That's cool.
He introduced himself as Sam. We all
No, he didn't.
Well,
Did he?
Yes, he
my
did.
character's name is Sam Wilson,
Sam
but
Wilson.
so
He
it's
said,
all the
I'm
same.
Sam,
so.
known as the Falcon.
That's right. That's right.
So
something,
Tim.
yes.
We're gonna
Have
know him
another
better-
drink.
We're gonna know him better than you sometimes, I think.
So something question popped in my head while we were talking about Mulan. Knowing that Disney is coming out with their live-action remakes of their Disney classics,
Yeah.
if they ever considered doing a live-action remake of Mulan, would you be interested in being a role in that?
No, they are. They are in the process of casting for the live action Mulan, and I've had conversations, with the producer, one of the producers on it. So we'll see. I mean, it would be fantastic, and I think it would be, a great tribute to the fans, and for me to have me play a cameo in it in some way. But I'm excited to see, what they come up with, and I'm sure the visuals will be amazing because they've done so well with all the other live action, films that they've, like Cinderella, Maleficent. So keeping my fingers crossed that they do a great job with Mulan.
Thank you. I'm done now. Thank you.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming up. I didn't want to shame you. This next lady?
Hi, thank you for coming to Dallas again. I was there last time. So, two related questions. So, of all the characters you've played, who would Melinda May like the most, and who would Melinda May like the least, and who would you like the most, and who would you like the least?
Within the cast?
No,
of all
characters
the
that you have
played.
done. Who would Melinda May like of the characters that you've done?
Oh, yeah.
Who would she have disliked?
Well, definitely Mulan. I always joke that Mulan was probably an ancestor of Agent May. It ties it all in. Who would she least like? Oh gosh, I think.
Trumpeter from Mr. Rogers?
No. I mean, I played a really evil character in Eureka. And she was an evil senator in Eureka. I think she probably wouldn't like her very much. She's not into politicians at all. So, and then for me, I like all of them. They pay the rent. So.
You've had the fortunate, you not only worked for Disney, but you worked for Marvel, even though now Marvel is Disney.
Yes.
But those are two massive machines that crank out some quality products. What's it like working in a big organization like that versus like an independent movie or maybe even a Joy Luck Club where there's not nearly as many decision makers, there's not the corporate tiering? And is there a difference between Disney and Marvel, the way they do things?
There's a little bit, for sure. I think, and a lot of similarities too. They're both extremely secretive and strict about a lot of things. I don't know. I think. Hi. I think it's all good. It's I like doing independent. I don't get a chance to do independent films as much anymore because our schedule is 10 months out of the year.
Well, you're locked into the corporate machine now. And
well,
that's not a bad thing.
No. I hope that corporate machine keeps wanting to rehire our show. I think I know I'm going to try to fit a film in during my hiatus this year, so I'm excited about that. It's still in negotiation. But it's hard, It's like, oh my goodness, there's a film that actually fits within that month and a half, 2 months free time that I have so that I could ignore my kids and my husband some more. No, I'm just kidding.
You got a question?
Hi, I'm back again. I have a question for you. Do you miss being a doctor on ER?
I mean, I miss ER. I miss all the, people that work on the show. I don't know if I don't know, playing a doctor is great fun, but I think for me, like right now, after having done an action show and that type, I would really, really love to do a show more like This Is Us as the next one, or a sitcom, just so that I'm actually just sitting in a frickin' living room and having like real meals or something, or driving a car, just something that's normal. I think that would be really fun.
And you're not doing dialogue like a doctor, which is
right, doing dialogue like a doctor.
And then you got to learn about vibranium and all the Inhumans, and so something where you're actually talking in English.
Yeah,
to humans.
a little bit. Yeah, I know, because my mom, she has no idea. She tries to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she just like, She has no idea what's going on.
So how do your parents deal? How do they have they dealt with all this fame and just the things that you do? Because I'm sure
she
starting
just always
with
go, "Don't work so hard. Don't work so hard, honey. Okay?" I'm like, "Okay, Mom."
do they go to your movies? Do they see them and
Oh, yeah.
and they're just confused, but they still go?
Movies, I haven't done one in a while, but I did do a really bad one that I thought it was to pay the rent, but it was called Super Cyclone.
And a hush falls over the crowd.
Exactly. Thank goodness you guys didn't see it. It was one of those movies, and apparently it was on Netflix. It was on one of those cable channels, and my mom caught it. And she calls me up and she was like, "Ming-Na, I see movie, you on boat in storm, very good." She loved it. She was able to follow it. She understood what was going on.
Well, we'll get the Sci-Fi Channel on because that sounds like that is a sci-fi original movie.
Yeah, don't see it. Yeah. But my mom loved it, so I'm good.
All right. Oh, she did? Okay.
I'm sorry if I got to
A little
mention too.
follow-up. You're fine.
Sure.
When Agent Blake got injured on season 1, did it bring back memories, like from ER?
I'm sorry, when?
You got injured in season
Agent
1.
Blake.
Agent Blake?
She said when you got injured in season 1, did it bring back memories of ER? Blake. You'll have to.
Blake? Who the hell's Blake?
Agent Blake from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agent Blake from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Titus Weaver.
Oh, okay. I know. I'm not Agent May at all. I don't remember anything. I have no sense of direction. Sorry to blow the image.
And to give you a little defense on this, as an actor, especially when you have 8 days to memorize a script and then flush that to go memorize another 8 days of script, it's hard to keep track because we only have to watch it and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. You've got to memorize it, execute it, and then make room for something else.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
It's okay.
No, trust me, I'm at that point where I'm not shy about not remembering things at all. It's like it's part of my gift.
And
it's how I stay young, is by not remembering anything.
And I remember everything.
That's my secret. So use it.
Apparently, I remember everything. That's why I look like I'm 100
But
years old.
no, the only time that we did a little ER tribute was when Mockingbird was injured, and I had to be pushing the gurney in. So that was one of our ER funny moments for us.
And it looks like the Hello Kitty shirt. Is that correct?
Yes.
Doing good over here.
It's a Street Fighter Hello Kitty, Chun-Li,
Okay.
actually. I was just wondering, now that you are on the show and you're doing a lot of fight scenes and things like that, when you're approached for other roles, is that pretty much what you're being typecasted at, or are you getting, I guess, I don't know if anyone even tries to contact you for other roles, but like regular roles like This Is Us, like are you getting contacted for that kind of stuff, or?
Once again, it's just so hard to do because I have a lot of friends in other shows, and they're always asking me to make a one episode thing and just show up for their show, and it's almost impossible even to do that, to work it out with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because our show is so incredibly complicated. So I'm hoping that down the line I will, because that's what I always strive for in my career, is to do very different characters and stuff all the time. So yeah, I'm not too worried about being typecast, because again, I am so different from Agent May that once I walk into the room, they would see the possibilities. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I realize now, this generation, there's a lot more Asian Americans or even Asians on television, like Fresh Off the Boat and other things. And as an Asian American, I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad they casted you to do this. And
thank you.
I just thank you, and I enjoy watching.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Next up.
Hello, my name is Cody.
What was your name?
Cody.
Cody. Hi, Cody.
Were you surprised when they added Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider?
Was I surprised?
Yeah.
Not when I saw the poster. And I think the first episode was like, Ghost Rider. But no, we had talked about that was the character that was coming on. And we're doing it different this year. We're doing more like a cable show where it's like 8 episodes rather than trying to carry an arc all the way through 22 episodes, which is so incredibly difficult. So we're kind of doing 8, we call them pods. So we're doing 8-episode arcs. So the first one was Ghost Rider, and oh my goodness, how amazing was our PhysFX, Mark Kolpak and his team in creating that, for television. I mean, they have to do that in such a short amount of time, along with all the other special effects. It was awesome. He was on fire. Sorry, I had to say that. And then the second pod now is the whole LMD stuff that we're doing. So, and they won't tell me what the third pod is.
I was going to say, how far in advance do you know what's going on?
That's about it. Yeah.
2 shows, 3 shows?
3. Yeah. That not even.
Not even.
No, because like when I died, I was like, okay, so what happens? She lives, right?
Yeah. Normally, if they would kill off a character, they'd pull you aside ahead of time and tell you, and you didn't have that, so you just looked in the script and said, Agent May dead.
Yeah, no, Jed Wheaton, he joked about it. I'm like, so what's in the next episode? Because every time we do a table read for an episode, we get so excited. I'm always like, okay, so what happens next? And he just looked at me, he's like, you die. And that's all he said. I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then I read that script. I'm like, oh, my God, I do die.
Well, he's a Whedon. He's got to kill somebody.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah.
I'm glad
I came back.
We're glad you came back as well.
Yeah.
It looks like she's got her Princess Leia haircut.
Sort of.
Sort of. I can't tell from here, but I want to step up and ask a question.
All right. My question would be, if you could choose any character to play, like on any show, any TV, anything, who would it be?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many great shows out there right now.
And would it still be like a fighting character?
And be what?
And would it still be like a fighting character?
I don't know. I mean, what shows do you guys like to watch? Westworld? We have fans out there of Westworld. I like Westworld. No.
Is there something?
House of Cards is another good one. Although now we don't really need to watch. We just have to watch the real thing going on in the White House.
I think you're giving too much credit to the planning in that situation.
But yeah.
Is there?
That's always a hard question. But like I said, I would love to play anything on This Is Us. That's like my new favorite show in the world, and the fact that it takes place in Pittsburgh, which is where I grew up. So it's really cool.
So now the question is, 70s This Is Us or current This Is Us? Because every time my wife just starts describing stuff, because I travel and I miss episodes, she'll be like, so this happened.
I would like current This Is Us because I love Sterling K. Brown. To be able to do a scene with him would be amazing. He's so good in it. So we'll see.
All right. I just want to make sure, like I said, we have on both sides, we've got questions. We're slowly running out of time. We've got about 5 minutes left, and I want to make sure we get to everybody. I also want to thank our interpreters today from Blue Sun. Thank you, Jennifer and Lael. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jennifer.
If you need somebody at your session, just let someone know. Something you said last night grabbed me as well. It was that you were the president of your science fiction club?
Yeah, science fiction.
So how nerdy were you back in the day?
Pretty nerdy, yeah.
But, at what level?
At what level?
Because
Let's see.
We run these celebrities, and I think a lot of us get upset because we run these celebrities who are gorgeous, who live supermodel lives. They do one thing in the Marvel, and they go, I'm so nerdy. And it's like, no, you're not. You've never been nerdy. You just did this. But when you said the science fiction club, that is about as nerdy as you can.
That's about as nerdy as you can. That gives me cred, right? Totally. No,
So what does the president of the science fiction club do?
Oh my God, we also played with Dungeons. We played Dungeons and Dragons. You know, because there were no computers back then. You actually had to use your imagination. It was so great.
So will we see you on the third floor playing?
So
We got games going on as we speak.
I wish. That would be fun. That would be fun. And one day I'm going to have to like spend an extra day
Just
here.
poke your head
to
in
do
there to
something
freak
like
them
that.
out.
Okay.
Just poke your head in there and say, who's got a critical, just say something D&D
Right?
wise, just
Yeah.
to blow their mind.
And I mean, my friends were all collecting, you know, comic books, and I don't know, and I'd go to the arcade with my boyfriend every single day after school.
Well, there you lost a little nerd cred.
Why?
You had a boyfriend.
That's true. But I also studied Latin in high school. That doesn't get any nerdier than studying a dead language. So
We've got a Star Trek gentleman. Step right up.
Hello, my name's Tony. My question was, we hear a lot about people on casts like shows like yours. For instance, with Star Trek, they had long days and they were pretty much stuck on set during those 12, 13, 14-hour days. And they had a hard time with their family life and with the show. How do you kind of find a balance between long hours at work and then also with family life?
I mean, that's why I stuck with television work, because even though we have really long hours and there'll be like a stretch of time when I don't get to see my family, because I'll be like up at 4 a.m. and I don't get home till 11 at night or whatever. There are days when we're not needed, or there are shorter days, and we always have our weekends guaranteed, and I'm at home. I mean, our show shoots in LA, which is great. So it's conducive to family life much more than film work. Because a lot of times film work, you know, they're in another country or another city. But I always try to bring them, you know, with me if I can. And I have a great husband. He's at home with them a lot, and you know, really takes care of the family stuff. So it's a good balance.
22 years, that's like 4 Hollywood marriages. So that's very impressive.
Thank you.
We got a gentleman right here.
And, you know, I don't give a shit what they feel or think. I just do whatever I want.
There you go. And I believe that should be the overwhelming theme. Just don't give a shit.
I mean, remember when our family, like our parents, the older folks in the audience, like they would just be like, okay, go play, come home for dinner. And they would have absolutely no idea where we were. It was great. We need to do that again, I think.
Well, now I'm starting to worry about your kids.
Do you like the new versions of Heroes like you're playing, or do you miss the old versions where everything's just so weird, like when Superman could turn into like 1,000 mini people and just beat someone up and go back to his normal self?
Huh. Like you mean how they're writing superheroes now?
Yeah.
You see like the campy version versus the more realistic way they're going, or the darker version.
Wow.
That some competitors might be going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See how well that worked out. No, just kidding. I love the fact that, you know, there is humor within these fantastical worlds, and I think Marvel does an incredible job in finding that balance of heart and humor. And, you know, unfortunately, I think that's the expectation that people have now. They want it to be as exciting as possible, as crazy as possible, but ultimately, especially with the Marvel films, I think it is still really rooted in the humanity and the storytelling of what these characters go through in their personal lives or, you know, in their work lives, and the struggles that everyone has to deal with, you know, that I think that, you know, even on our show, it's about stuff that can make the audience feel something and relate to and root for. So ultimately, no matter what all the, you know, madness is around it, the core of it has to be about the human experience. So I like it. I mean, have you seen Doctor Strange?
Yes, I love Doctor Strange.
Awesome. It was great. Yeah, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. And then Oh yeah. I mean, how can you not love him? Yeah, he's talking. He's. You know what? I mean, as upset I was with how they, whitewashed it and didn't cast the Ancient One as an Asian person. She did an amazing job. She brought a quality to that character that was great. So on the artistic level, I appreciated her contribution, but on a personal level, it still stings, that they didn't try for casting it the way that character deserves to be cast. So, but it was still an awesome movie, and yeah, she did a great job.
And did you appreciate how they elevated Wong instead of
Yeah.
See, I understand that the whitewashing is kind of a touchy subject because it was written in the '60s. It was a different time frame. But Wong was the manservant in the comics, but here he was not only just an educator, but he was a kick-ass guy.
Yeah, he was a kick. He was funny. He was really funny, which was so good. But but overall, I like I said, I just loved the movie and thought that they did a great job with it overall. So.
And do you guys still, every once in a while, push for cameos? It's like, look, we can just show up for a day. We'll walk in the background as S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
Trust me, we're trying. They keep the cinematic universe separate from the television universe. So
They keep the cinematic away from you guys, but you guys are happy to bring them in, so they should return the favor. I'd love to see Ming just walk in the background with there's Sam Jackson, there's you, boom.
That's right, bam. We'll see.
All right. Well, please give Ming a great, wonderful hand for being here.
Thank you.
She will still be. This is your last day, right?
Yeah. Come over, say hi, take pictures.
She'll be downstairs.
Autographs.
Photographs all day. This is her last day here, so do not think, I'll just wait till tomorrow, because she won't be here because she's got a life as well. She's going back home.
Hope to see everybody there, but Happy New Year. Let's hope
very
for
much.
a great 2017.
That's the show. Of course, big thanks to Ming-Na for allowing the recording, and of course, huge thanks to Devin Pike for having me moderate. Be sure to go to realitycheckpodcast.com to sign up for the newsletter or download the app. Follow Reality Check Pod on Twitter, and email comments, questions, and guest suggestions to Craig at speakercraigprice.com. See you next week.